Hi, good evening, everyone. And I really hope that you had a great Labor Day. And I want to just go ahead and jump right into reasons that you should automate or consider automating your interactions with SQL Server using PowerShell. So SQL Server professionals might be reluctant to automate with PowerShell. You already really know T-SQL really well, and you're using that quite consistently and quite well to manage SQL Server. So why why risk learning another language? Why put time into learning something additional? Well, I've been using PowerShell for the last 5 years or so to manage SQL Server, and it has revolutionized how I interact with SQL Server and made things so much more simple. And so I want to share with you some reasons that you should consider doing that. First off, automation saves you time. Everyone likes a graphical user interface. That's why we like Bill Gates and Windows of Windows 95, because it made clicking something on the screen very easy. We can then manipulate our computer. And that's fine if you're just talking about your home PC and whatever you might be doing at home. But for your business, if you're managing multiple computers or you're in the cloud, for example, with 10, 20, 30, or 300 computers, automation is going to save you a lot of time versus being in the graphical user interface, clicking away. So automation with PowerShell is going to save you time when you're interacting with SQL Server. Automation is also going to force standardization. For you to automate something or for your work group to automate something, you're going to have to collaborate and make decisions about how do we automate this thing? What specific steps and processes are we going to take to get from point A to point B or A to Z? So it's going to cause you to create a standard way of doing something. And I think that's going to be fantastic for you and for your company. Automation also provides consistency. And this is a byproduct of standardization. If you have a standard way of doing something, then it's consistent. And consistency is a fantastic thing when you have a very large IT environment or even a small to medium environment of, a few dozen servers. If there's consistency, it's going to make a big difference. And the larger the environment, the bigger the difference consistency is going to make for you. And that consistency comes across in reduced and easier troubleshooting. If you have 300 servers and they all look different because there's no consistency about how they were built, it's going to make things very difficult to troubleshoot. The consistency that you get out of automating the creation of those servers and automating the management of those servers, the standardization that comes from that is going to reduce all kinds of questions that you might have to normally ask if there weren't that standardization, if there weren't that consistency. So automation is going to result in reduced and easier troubleshooting for you as an IT professional. Also, automation with PowerShell specifically is probably easier to get started with than you think. There's a built-in help system there. You can type get-help and a command and -full. So if you want to restore a database, for example, you can type in the Windows PowerShell console get-help get-dba restore -full, and you'll get a complete listing not only of the syntax, but you'll get examples of multiple examples many times of how to use that particular command. And it's really very crystal clear. They usually go from the most simple and basic kind of command to doing more complex things. So automation is with PowerShell specifically is going to be easier than you think, and you don't have to throw out all of those loved T-SQL scripts. You can still use your library of powerful T-SQL. You can call that T-SQL from the SQL Server PowerShell module or from the DBA Tools module. Either one, and you make use of all the time and effort that you spent building those T-SQL scripts. And last, automation skills are often going to be required if you're going to make it to the senior level. When I look at a lot of job postings, senior level job postings, and some that aren't even senior level yet, are looking for automation. They want to know that you know how to manage a large, wide group of servers. And in order to do that effectively and efficiently, you're going to need to automate. And if you can do that, that puts you in a great position for senior level roles. So to summarize here, as a SQL Server professional, you might think, do I really need to learn PowerShell? I already know all this T-SQL. Is it really necessary? I think that automation using PowerShell specifically for interacting with SQL Server is going to save you a lot of time. It's going to save your coworkers time. They're going to get the return on investment from you being more available because you've automated things. So now you have more time to do other projects and to do other work. It's going to force standardization, and it's going to provide consistency across the environment. And that automation is going to result in reduced troubleshooting, going to make things quicker to figure out when they go wrong. And automation is so much easier than you think with PowerShell's great built-in help system. So I hope that you found this to be useful. And until next time, consider automating SQL Server in your interactions with SQL Server using PowerShell.